Hello.
We are live, yes. Welcome to episode 3. It's been a while to watch what now? I guess you would say the podcast that discusses the good, the bad, and
And the
anything in between.
ugly.
Yeah, and the very, very ugly. Oh boy. I am Eric from Hey Internet Eric here, and with me is my wonderful co-host and someone I consider a good friend. She's a former AVN Hall of Famer, a former radio show host, and the woman that would rather be in Walnut Grove right now with the Ingalls family than discussing tonight's piece of crap, Miss Melissa Hill. Welcome, Melissa.
Woo. Thank you. And you have you really don't realize how right you are, because literally on the TV up until about 5 minutes ago was Walnut Grove.
Of course, your good old standby. Um,
Yes.
First off, we will say this: we are happy to be here tonight, despite what is going on in the world at the moment, especially today. We were contemplating not going live and maybe postponing a week or so, but then we decided, you know what, maybe we can bring a little bit of fun to what's going on. Because me and Melissa, we always have a lot of fun shooting the shit and trying to make each other laugh, and we're just hoping, even despite what's going on, that maybe we can make at least one or two of you watching laugh, or one of you two listening laugh as well. So I am glad that we decided to go through with it.
Me too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. That being said, Melissa, it took us a long time to rip this Band-Aid off. But I do want to go back to our previous episode. He might be lurking in the shadows, but I do want to give a shout out to our good friend, Mr. Neal Preston, because of his wonderful feedback on our last episode of Train to Busan. And this is why me as a YouTuber, and I know Melissa likes to get the positive feedback, I'm very proud of that episode. And I will say we can pat ourselves on the back with that episode, that for a guy who said he didn't want to watch a movie, or he didn't want to read a movie, he ended up watching it and really enjoying it. So I
And
do.
not right. And not only that, he's not into zombies either. So
Yeah. So we definitely want to give him a thank you for the positive feedback that he didn't have to do. And one more thing, I will say this: we are on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called. And Melissa, we actually have a 5-star review.
we
We have,
do.
yeah, July 18th from Wait a Minute 13. 5-star review, great movie discussions. I was a fan of Eric's other YouTube channel, so I knew this would be a cool discussion place for movies. Eric and Melissa have a fun time with the films, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they come up with for future episodes.
Oh, well,
So,
thank you so much.
yeah, like I said, it is good to see. Like, I just have fun talking movies. I have fun talking movies with friends, but the fact that people show how they appreciate and enjoy our conversations is a reason that'll keep us doing this, despite what we're going to talk about today.
Right.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah. So well, sorry. I just wanted to say.
mhm,
I mean, because you and I had both
mhm.
were like, we had two really positive shows, the first two,
Mhm.
and I had the bright idea of like, well, let's discuss something crappy.
Yeah, it was. It was literally because what we're planning on doing now is we're going to take turns. One week Melissa will pick the film, because we both basically agreed on the substance. So one week
Right.
Melissa will pick a film. She picks Train to Busan, and then, like I said, or like she said, she said, let's try to watch something that's almost unwatchable. And it being my choice, we shot ourselves in the foot. And I went to our Facebook page and our coming soon folder, and I tried to find something that, because I do like a lot of bad movies. You know what I mean? Everybody loves a good bad movie, but there are some things that were considered unwatchable. And I wanted to pick something that had that notoriety, but also something that maybe I hadn't seen before. So I made the mistake of of choosing 2003's The Room.
And I'll be honest, I really didn't think that there was such thing as a bad movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just thought there would be movies that maybe, people didn't particularly like, or they thought was cheesy or whatever, but so So I think it was one of my friends, or someone on my friend list who had made the suggestion for the room, and I was like, well, okay, it doesn't. I mean, sounds harmless enough, and it did kind of have a tone of familiarity, but I couldn't remember why. And then when and well, anyway, as I wrote in my Facebook description, I was like, this really does make you ask the question, why? Like,
yeah.
Why did someone make this movie?
Why did someone make this movie? Why did we decide to watch the movie? And then why
Right.
did we decide to talk about it for maybe an hour?
Right.
Yeah, and then, there is a thing about bad movies. And what I mean by that is just, you can have fun with it, but like, say, bad production value, bad acting, something like that, a really dumb plot. And I think we get all of that in tonight's movie. Shout out to Patrick, Anthony, and Shirley in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. All right, well, I guess we ripped off the Band-Aid. Let's go ahead and pour the rubbing alcohol on it. Melissa, this came out in 2003, and oh boy, let's see here. Directed, written, produced, and starring Tom. Hey, that's okay.
Dogs.
They got the same opinion we got with this movie. Starring Tommy Wiseau. I couldn't get a lot of information on him because he's trying to be as mysterious as possible. This came out in 2003, like I said, a budget of $6 million, which I don't fucking believe for 1 second.
$6 million?
Yeah, where did it go to? I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
So you asked the question, and I guess we should mention, or we don't have to mention, but we could mention that this film inspired another film where some of the questions that we have get answered. But I'm going to pretend like I never saw that other film, so I don't know the answer to your question.
Okay. Let's see here.
I could tell you the answer to your question, but
and then it only made 5.3. We do have a special guest knocking in the wing, but if he can hear me, it says their mic and cam is not connected. So if they would like to join and take a bite of this shit sandwich, they have to do that before I can end them.
He gave me the.
It's not working.
Okay, so you might have to come over here. It might be the same reason why I can't use my tablet. Okay. I have to use my phone. So,
hey, our production value is still better than anything Tommy Wiseau can fucking do. Trust me.
He just gave a thumbs down. Anyway, so those who might be watching, our mystery guest is sitting on my staircase right now. Making grunts and groans because he's having problems with his tablet.
Yeah.
So I invited him to come join me on the big people chair. Oh, all right. I guess he's going to come join me on the big people chair.
I'm surprised after you made him watch this film that you guys are still on speaking terms.
It's a different.
Okay, I think he can hear you. He just can't.
Barely.
He said.
I can hear him.
All right, he said he can hear you. He says we're barely on speaking terms.
Okay.
All right.
So
we'll see how. See.
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I will.
That's okay.
There he is.
I'm going to introduce. This is Neal Preston. Oh, we got it. All right.
That works.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh Jesus! Except my face looks really giant right now.
No,
there
you're fine.
We go.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce our very special and poor soul, our special guest to tonight's episode.
Hi. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So since Neal had he participated in the chat when we did Train to Busan, as you mentioned earlier, and he watched a movie that he really didn't,
which I loved,
which he loved.
Yes, I'm glad you did, Neal.
When he told me he was coming, Kanda. When he told me he was coming to town, I was like, well, Eric and I have our podcast scheduled for Wednesday. So, and he's like, great, I'll participate. And I'm like, will you participate in person? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, well, if you're going to participate in person, you're going to have to watch the movie ahead of time.
Which I did.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Today.
And I'd like to have my hour and 20 minutes back.
He wants his hour and 20 minutes back. Right. Yeah. So
I do appreciate you suffering through it, Neal, to hang out with us for a little bit.
Oh, suffering is not the word.
and as you know me, and as you know Melissa, there's no holding back on thoughts on this air quotes feature film. Jesus, where do I start? I guess, well, we're gonna start. Melissa actually, because I found this on Internet Archive, because there's no way in hell I'm gonna fucking pay for this movie.
Okay.
And Melissa started this 3 weeks ago, and you turned it off after 5 minutes.
Right after we did the Train to Busan episode, I was like, okay. And you warned me. You said, be careful. You don't watch it too far ahead of time, because you might whatever.
You might
die.
forget. You might forget, and then you might have to rewatch it when you don't want to.
Right. Okay. And I was like, that's not going to be a problem. Who wouldn't want to watch a movie? I mean,
Yeah.
I love movies. Anyway, so I made the mistake of doing a sneak peek because I just couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell did we agree to do? I only made it, literally, it was 5 minutes, because when you and I started watching it together, Eric and I watched it at the same time, even though we're in separate locations.
Yep.
And I was like, yep, this is as far as I made it. This is the spot right here. And
Let me try my phone.
And it was literally like 5 minutes and 36 seconds. All right.
Yep.
So Mr. Preston is going to go try his phone.
All right. Godspeed, Neal.
Yeah.
Well, with my little notes, that first 5 minutes is really just, and to tell you how bad it is, Melissa literally shut it off just with the opening credits.
She's the smartest one around here.
I know. I watched it sober too. But
Me too.
oh, poor bastard. I remember when we were texting, it was basically it's literally like 5 minutes of just opening shots of San Francisco and the credits, and it's some of the lamest piano and flute music we've ever heard. I believe you said it was like you were at a really bad Ren fair, Renaissance fair.
That's funny. I just pulled that up on my. Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get my text and our text up, but then we meet. I'll pull up the character's name. We have Tommy Wiseau plays Johnny. We have Juliette Danielle, who plays Lisa, Johnny's fiance. Greg Sestero as Mark, Johnny's best friend, who is having an affair with Lisa. And then we have Philip Heldeman as I guess his name is Denny. I thought it was Danny because I couldn't honestly understand a single word Tommy Wiseau fucking said because of his accent.
Right.
And he's it says here on Wiki, he's just a young college student who is financially and emotionally supported by Johnny. Okay.
Panda. I thought dogs. Sorry. Panda,
it happens.
Stop. I thought he was supposed to be a high school student.
I did too, because the kid looks like he's fucking 14. You know what I mean? I'm wondering what he's doing hanging around with these two people. And
well, apparently he's living in the same building as everyone else in the movie.
Maybe that's why it's called The Room, because basically it is shot in just one room, other than maybe a couple shots here and there when they have to play football every 20 minutes for some fucking reason.
I thought
exactly. Panda, you're right.
I felt like the character of Lisa was in a trap house. Like she couldn't leave the house because everything she did was in that one little corner.
I was gonna say, did you ever see her outside of the house?
No,
I didn't think so.
Yeah. People ask me, so when I posted on Facebook about this show coming up, this podcast coming up, someone did ask, what's it about? And I said a bunch of illogical and irrational things that take place in a room.
You're not wrong.
So anyway.
So we meet Johnny and Lisa, and I don't really want to trash, I'll trash Tommy Wiseau's acting because he's god awful. I don't really want to trash anybody else because, everybody has to start somewhere. Sometimes, even if an actor is given a bad performance, maybe the director can pull something good out of him. Tommy couldn't do anything. There's no way these actors had a chance in hell to give a good performance, I think, with Tommy directing them.
I honestly thought that the movie was made by a group of friends that just wanted to make a movie. Like
that's what it seemed like. When you get your camcorder when you're in high school or something, and I did that with my friends. We made our own horror movies, and he said, Tommy claims he wrote this as a play in 2001 after seeing The Talented Mr. Ripley. I don't get it. Then he's always secretive about how he got funds for this project. But because I think he's trying to have this gimmick, like he's this mysterious stranger type of stupid thing. But he did tell Entertainment Weekly that he made money by importing leather jackets from Korea. And
okay.
Even when see, Panda knows that's a fucking lie. So when we meet these two characters, boom. It's right into the most uncomfortable sex scene I've seen in a non-pornographic movie in a long time.
I think I said that it was worse than the worst porn movie I'd ever seen or starred in.
Yeah, because Well, that's the thing. I was going to say that. I mean, we both have sex. We've both seen porno movies.
Not with each other. Not with each other.
No. No. But this is definitely directed by a guy who I think has never seen a sex scene in his life and has some of the biggest ego I've ever seen because, as you mentioned in our text, it's mainly him naked on screen.
Right.
You barely see you see like maybe half a second of Lisa topless. And what I mean by the most weird and uncomfortable sex scene I've ever seen is the way he's positioned. Even if you have never had sex in your life, but you've gone through biology class, you know what goes where. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I literally texted you and asked, he's somewhat covered up. Of course, he's got to have his ass showing because, he's the star.
Right.
But the way he's positioned and laying on her, I know I texted you, it looked like he was banging her belly button from where he was positioned.
Right.
Listen.
Oh, here he is.
Hang on. I gotta get the AirPods.
I think we forgot to mention that when the character of Johnny, played by Tommy, comes home, the first thing he does. Can you turn that down?
Yeah,
I'm hearing my echo.
He went to go get his earbuds.
Right. Okay. When the character of Johnny, who's played by Tommy, first comes home, he presents Lisa with this gift, and she pulls it out of the box, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful! Like it's the most precious gift she's ever received from him." And so she goes upstairs to try it on, and it's this beautiful red dress, and she feels elegant. And he sits back and he goes, "Anything for my princess." And then the character of Denny, who we don't know who he is. Like, I honestly thought that when I first started watching the movie that he must have been their roommate. I thought that the movie was about a couple who does a bunch of shit in a room, and their roommate Denny watches. That's what I thought the movie was going to be about. Was like a whole bunch of crazy sex stuff, and this character Denny just sits and watches all the time, and maybe they switch off. Like that's honestly what I thought the movie was about. And so when all these other characters started, I was like, oh no. So at the at the beginning, they go up into the room, and what better foreplay is there than a pillow fight? Makes
Yes, I
total
have that written.
sense.
I have that in our text. A fucking pillow fight.
So they have a pillow fight, and then this kid, who we don't know who he is, just walks up the spiral staircase and decides to flop himself in the middle of the bed between these two lovebirds.
Right. Yeah, this was
And
before
then,
they had sex, and
right.
he literally says something.
I
He
like to watch
says,
the two of you.
yes, Denny likes to. I literally had that. Lisa or Johnny and Lisa go upstairs. Denny likes to watch, and and then what is it? Tommy says two's great, but three's a crowd. You know, he's pulling out all these cliches that he's heard somewhere, and it's just, I'm already rolling my eyes in the back of my head. You and I have been regretting doing this, and we're literally 10 minutes in, and the first 5 minutes are the credits.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. And the crappy music is still playing. And then there's but
there's this awful ballad that's playing when they're having sex.
Right.
I remember that.
Neal's question was, what's with the awful four-poster bed, and what's this stuff hanging all over the place?
The slats.
And as he called it, the slats. And I was like, well, you have to think back to the 1990s. Everyone had mosquito nets hanging from their bed. I know I did.
You ever see one in my house?
I know I did. I had a four-poster bed with a mosquito net hanging around the bed. It was like my little canopy. But what I found particularly curious was the fact that, so this is a couple. They live together, but there's no furniture in their bedroom other than the bed.
Right. It's literally like, it's worse than like a college student's first apartment. You know, they have the mattress, they have the TV on like a milk crate, and then they have a hot plate. And Tommy didn't even have the TV and the hot plate. All he had was the four-post bed. And I think it's just because he probably thought all women wanted that, like a princess bed or something like that.
Right. Maybe that's why he calls her my princess.
It could be, but it just makes me think, does he think that Lisa's, 15 or something like that? You know, I think when she's Lisa's age, they kind of get out of that phase, but that's just me.
Right.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say, after they have, the belly button sex and Denny's watching from afar, your favorite character in the whole movie shows up, Lisa's mother. And this movie's like an hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes long.
Maybe, yeah.
And I think maybe an hour of that was you just saying how much you hated that woman, because all she did was support. She supported Johnny.
I'm just scrolling through. I wrote, what kind of mother is this? You wrote a dumb one. And then also, and I made a comment about the actress. And I was like, she's reading, you could see her reading her lines off because her eyes, she kept switching focus to, she was talking to her daughter Lisa, and then her eyes were focusing off to the side. Like, so anyway.
She had to be reading off cue cards or something.
Worst mom in the world. Looks like we finally have Neal Preston.
Fingers crossed. Okay. You okay, Neal?
Yeah, I'm just hearing you from the phone. No, AirPods wouldn't work.
Okay.
But I'm ready to rock.
Hey, it's the same production value as Tommy Wiseau. We can't do anything worse.
Slightly better, maybe.
Okay, so while you were getting ready, Neal, we already talked about the awful bed, the awful sex scene, the creepy little neighbor boy. Now, Melissa told me.
Hang on. Hold her right there.
Please.
The crappy sex scene. How about the too long crappy sex scene? I mean,
yes.
And all they ever do is
10 minutes.
All they ever do is this. Oh. Somebody there's a bum fuck.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Neal Preston.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
He did say he wasn't going to hold back.
Yes, I did.
No, please don't.
Get rid of that light in the background. Sorry.
So Melissa told me that because she was cleaning the house, she literally left you to watch this by yourself. what was your first thought? Like, because did you know anything about this film going into it? Have you ever heard of it or its notoriety?
No, I never heard. Mind you, I'm not a humongous film buff, but I do have my favorites, and I mean, I just don't get out to the movies a lot, and when I'm home, I tend to watch TV sports and CNN and blah blah blah. But I'd never heard of this movie. I was fully prepared by Melissa that it was going to be a rough ride. Words cannot describe how bad this movie is. Okay, especially or when you get to the lead actors. Just wait till you get to the girl, because I got some feelings about that.
Okay, yeah. Well, we've already talked about Lisa a little bit, and we're now dealing with Lisa and, like I said, Melissa's favorite character, her mother, and all it is Lisa's mother praising Johnny, and Lisa's telling her mother like how unhappy she is, but
this is the morning after the most romantic sex scene where he was screwing her belly button. And
yeah. Shout out to Barb from Fear the Talking Head. She's at work, but she wanted to pop her head in and say hello, and she popped in right in at the belly button sex. What did I just walk into? This is how she's spending her work hours. Well, Barb, we appreciate you showing up. Too bad we disappointed you.
Hi, Barb.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the mom. Yeah. Okay. So this is the morning after the most romantic. She just got the most glamorous, beautiful red dress, and they shot this romantic scene. My dog. Thanks, Teddy.
Which would have been an improvement over the scene.
They're playing with roses and sprinkling rose petals on each other and all that other stuff. And then her mom, so Tommy, who's a banker, Johnny, who his character is a banker, supposedly, goes off to work, and the mom comes over the next day, and suddenly Lisa's like, I'm not in love with Johnny anymore. He's boring. It's like, what? You just had the most amazing belly button sex I've ever seen.
Yeah, not to mention he's ugly, but that's beside the point.
Well, I did ask Melissa if Tommy Wiseau's face was melting when we first saw him.
Oh my God!
No offense to Tommy Wiseau. I'm sure it was the lighting or the camera.
He looked like a cross between Gene Simmons and I don't know, the guy that plays the ape on the Geico commercials.
No,
I don't know. Yeah, and you can maybe
not a looker. No Brad Pitt.
You can maybe mix in current Carrot Top, right there, the way he's looking nowadays.
Oh, I know stuff about Carrot Top. I can't share it here.
Anyway, Johnny looked like he was half asleep all the time, and he was, laughing inappropriate times, like he had some sort of medical issue. There's people that have a medical issue where they have
compulsive laughing syndrome.
Yes, where they have inappropriate reactions to certain emotions, or and I was like, this is really something wrong with this guy. Anyway, so Lisa's having a heart-to-heart with her amazing mom, and the mom is just like, Johnny takes good care of you. He pays for all of your bills, and he bought you that wonderful car, and you can't support yours. What are you going to do with your life? You can't support yourself. You have no
Certainly
skills.
Not as an actress.
Right. You have no skills to speak of. You never leave your house. So I
don't think she's allowed to leave the house. That's the problem.
I know, and so I was like, what a fucking awful mother. Her mom is telling her, you have no talent. You have no skills.
No future.
You have no chance of existing in this world unless you attach yourself to this man who looks half asleep all the time and laughs inappropriately at the wrong time.
Yeah, and she literally, I wrote down the line. She says, Lisa, honey, I know men. So obviously, You got this wonderful. She's saying you got this wonderful apartment, you got this fancy car, all this money. So let them stick it in your navel once a month. It's okay. You'll survive.
Lisa's mom's clearly been around the block a few times.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm trying to think. What I have from my notes is the really awful scene where he goes to get the 24 roses for her. Yeah. And I actually have the dialogue from that fucking scene up on my computer. And the problem is it's not just how bad the dialogue is, like it's written by a 2-year-old, and that's being nice. And the other problem is when Johnny's speaking to the clerk, this lady behind the desk, there is no pause in between sentences. It's like one paragraph with no punctuation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to read both characters. And I'm not going to change my voices or anything because it doesn't matter, because there's no emotion coming from the fucking flower clerk either. And I'm going to read it to you exactly how it is, like with the lack of pauses and everything. So Johnny walks in. Hi, can I help you? Yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please? Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you, because he's wearing fucking sunglasses, okay? Hey, work for Superman. Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go. That's me. How much is it? It'll be $18. Here you go. Keep the change. So he grabs the flowers, and there just happens to be either a pug or a bulldog sitting on the counter. He pets it. Oh, hi, doggie. You're my favorite customer. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye-bye. That was literally 15 seconds long, without me making my little comments. That's two people having a conversation, overlapping.
Hi, doggie.
That shows the skills of Tommy Wiseau as a director, as an editor, and of whoever he hired to do the ADR. You know what I mean?
Well, whoever he hired to do ADR and produce and write and gaff and be the electric guy and the still photographer, they spent more money on roses than they did on any of the crew. There's roses at every scene.
No, say what you want, dude.
That's true. There is.
I mean, I just couldn't get a rose here, a rose there, a rose everywhere.
Because this is a romantic. This is a romantic. Yeah, this is a romantic.
After a while,
it's all about their relationship. Yeah. So did we.
I'm suspicious. I think they were all the same bundle of roses.
You know what? It saves money.
Yeah. Well, I can explain the problem to you, Neal. Blame the producer and the writer and the editor. It was all Tommy himself. He wrote and produced and did everything. So
is he still alive?
Yes. He was. There was a movie that came out a handful of years ago called The Disaster Artist, and it stars James Franco and his brother. What's James's name? Dave, I think. And it's all about the making of this film. And Tommy's actually in the movie.
And he's working?
Yes, he just because
he works for himself. He works for himself.
He just released a shark movie. I sent the trailer to Melissa, and it looks god awful. It looks like it's right off the Sci-Fi Channel, but with less of a budget. The reason why he has air quotes a career. You know what I mean? The reason why is because of the notoriety of how bad this movie is. It plays at midnight showings, and people come in to laugh, and I don't know how you would have fun with it, unless it's like one of those, it's a cult movie, yeah. But
I'm guessing that when the film was originally shot, that whoever the crew members were obviously went later onto their various respective jobs and started talking about what a awful, and word gets around in Hollywood. That's kind of how South Park came to be.
I got a dollar that says this was a non-union movie.
Oh, I guarantee it wasn't.
Anyway, go
well,
ahead.
here's one thing is because these are all first-time actors, and I'm looking right here, according to Tommy's assistant Greg, Juliette Danielle, who plays Lisa, she literally just got off the bus from Texas.
And sounded like it.
Yeah.
Well, when I posted the fact that I was watching the movie on my Facebook profile, someone responded because I just took a screenshot of what does it say? Have you seen? Oh yeah,
Shirley saying she's seen The Disaster Artist.
I took a screenshot. You stop it. Panda doesn't like it when Teddy's playing. Hey, stop.
I'll bring him up here.
Teddy, bedtime. Anyway, he's playing with the ball and she doesn't like it, so she's barking at him.
Oh, hi, doggy. That's what it was.
Oh, hi, doggy. What was I going to say? Is
we were talking about Lisa just getting off the bus, and you posted something on Facebook.
And then one of my Facebook friends says, "Hey, that girl was in my acting class," and I was like, Did she
graduate?
Yeah, is she still acting?
Yeah.
So that kind of made me see her more as the actress more as a person. Teddy, go upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, everybody's got to start somewhere, and so I'm not going to fault them for picking this movie, but oh man. So next I have after the "Oh Hi Doggy" flower scene. He gives her the flowers. Lisa's drunk, and you made sure to point out that she's super drunk because she has Tommy's necktie tied around her forehead.
Right. Nothing signifies drunk more than wearing someone's necktie on your head.
Right. I guess that's them. I guess that's Tommy as a director and a writer believing that's how drunks are. They're playful. I guess. I don't know.
Personally, I wear a lampshade over my head. So.
If I was in this movie, I would wear a lampshade over my head to cover my face so people couldn't see my shitty acting. I will say this, though, in defense of this actress, this is probably the most emotion she's shown in the movie when she's trying to be a loopy drunk. And it still came off bad. And then, what do I have here? They're drunk. And then, I don't remember if they have sex or not. I might have blocked it out. And then Lisa's mom comes over, Melissa's favorite character. And for some reason, Lisa is still trying to convince mom that she's got to break up with Johnny. And she starts telling Johnny that he is a woman beater and he's abusing her.
No, she starts telling her mom. And it just comes out of nowhere. Like, again, after, romantic sex night, she's like, Tommy hit me. And she's like, oh, he got drunk and hit me. And she's like, Johnny doesn't drink. That's the mom, obviously not believing her daughter. I mean, I should change this. Yeah. Johnny doesn't drink. And so then the character of Lisa then turns around and gets Johnny drunk and then, somehow, I mean, none of it made sense because I was like, okay, so she's going to get him drunk, piss him off. So he'll hit her. So then the next day she could go, look, see, here's my bruise. But that didn't happen either. Like, and part of me going back to like the production itself of this movie, like I feel it felt like obviously films are shot out of order. They're not shot. They're not shot in chronological order. Thank you. Sideways. You're sideways. So, but I was like, not only obviously did they not film in chronological order, but did they edit it in like?
Did they edit it in general at all? That's the thing.
Did they? I feel like there were some scenes that got flip-flopped or whatever because she tells her mom that he got drunk and beat her, and then later goes and gets him drunk so that he'll.
Yeah, it's just either that or again, this whole master plan she's writing out on the fly, and it's she has no idea what she's doing, and maybe mom can see through her bullshit. She already doesn't think highly of Lisa. Now she's like, not only is my daughter, no, she doesn't have a talent, she can't do any of that stuff. She's also a moron. You know what I mean?
And every time she says goodbye to her daughter, she boops her on the nose.
That's right. She boops her on the nose like she's 2 years old.
And then she smiles, and you see her dimples.
Yeah, because she's so cute.
Right. And so then after that, we get like two randos.
Yep.
That
I literally wrote 2 random people fucking their living room.
Okay. 2 randos show up and start having sex in Lisa's living room. And so now I'm still confused. I'm like, so is this a office? Is she a sex therapist? Like, because she's talking about.
Yeah, I thought they rented it out as like a casting couch when Johnny's at work or something.
Like, I'm really confused. I don't understand what's happening here, because the 2 characters come in and they're like, oh, we have an hour to kill. Okay, let's have sex on our friend Lisa's couch.
Oh, they had
Whatever.
2 hours to kill. Remember?
Yeah, they had 2 hours. 2 hours to kill. And,
okay, which is longer than the movie.
Yeah, and apparently, this would have helped. Apparently this is Lisa's friend Michelle and her boyfriend Mike, and it would have helped unless I missed it, if we were introduced to these people earlier instead of just her mom leaving and then these 2 people showing up to have sex. And the thing is, we thought the belly button sex was bad. I was telling Melissa, this guy has like the worst O-face I have ever seen in any movie. When she's going down on him, he looks like it's a mixture of like he's sucking on like a sweet, like a really bad like sweet tart, and then he just stubbed his toe on the coffee table.
I feel like that actor was the only one that knew that this movie was a complete bust, and that he was going to make the most out of it and play his character as a comedian. And like, I appreciate that.
It's true, because he's not in the movie a lot, but you notice every time he's there, whether he's right in your face, on the casting couch, or if he's in the background at like the birthday party, he's always making some weird, stupid face, and he's looking right at the camera. You know what I mean? So you could tell he's purposely making himself stand out.
And then what's with me underwear? Me underwears.
Yeah, I have no idea. What was that scene? Was it where he left his underwear under Tommy's bed or something like that?
No. So the 2 randos, kind of get busted having sex in Lisa's living room, and Lisa and the mom show up because they just spent the day shopping. And so the comedy face guy with crazy O-face, he leaves out of total embarrassment, forgetting the fact that he left his boxers behind. So he goes back to get his boxers, and then the mom busts him and holds them up. And so later, when they're in the alley,
you thought it was Sesame Street. Yeah,
it looked like Sesame Street.
It looked like Studio City, actually.
It looked like 2 brick panels, wall paneling that I had in my living room when I was growing up in the 1970s. Like, they were standing right there in the corner, and they just threw a garbage can and a football in just to make it look like
the football. That's a whole nother.
What about the football, Neal?
Yeah, go ahead. I think we've had one football scene since, but go right ahead.
Was actually my favorite character, because it didn't need to show any emotion, and it was usually on the move.
That's true.
For no reason.
Because
nobody played football. Nobody was a pro football. No one played in college. No one played when they were a kid. It just was there in almost every scene. And it was a mini football.
I felt like it would have gone better if they would at least play horse with the basketball.
Yeah.
But I
guess
maybe
football with the football.
Yeah.
because they're like standing in a corner talking.
They're just playing catch is what it is. It's literally just catch, like you would play with your 10-year-old. Again,
exactly.
It's like these people, like Lisa's
next
looked
to the
at as a
garbage
child.
can.
For an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Next to a garbage can.
Lisa's looked at as a child to her mom. You already have a child in Denny, and then these 2, these are man children playing football, in a back alley, and it just, there's no context, because I don't know if you remember, Melissa. There's got to at least be 3 or 4 fucking scenes of just them playing catch for no reason. It just happens to have, like, they're like, we'll go a little bit ahead, right before the last like 20 minutes, they're in suits. You know, they're in suits.
They're in tuxedos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in tuxedos, and it's not because of Tommy's birthday party. Because
and it's not because of the wedding that they keep talking about.
Exactly.
You're my future wife, Lisa.
Yeah. And what do? They go out, and I think they're in a park in their tuxedos, just playing catch football
in an alleyway. They're in an
alleyway.
In the
alleyway.
Yeah,
okay.
but it was an actual outdoor alleyway and not an interior set alleyway, because you could see the cars driving by, and so it was like 4 guys dressed in tuxedos for no reason.
Right.
Which. In the movie, like I said, they keep talking about this upcoming wedding, because there's the character Lisa and Johnny are supposed to get married in a month. So I was like, oh, this must be wedding day, or maybe this is dress rehearsal. This is tuxedo fitting day or something. There's no explanation whatsoever. They're all just wearing tuxedos, and Denny says, "Hey, everyone, let's go outside and play football." Cheep, 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 cheep,
cheep, cheep, cheep, cheep, cheep, cheep, cheep.
Yeah.
Cheep, 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 cheep.
That's how. Yeah, because Tommy's got this one. I don't think Tommy can really speak English. He's not from America. From what research, because again, he's Mr. Mystery, because he thinks it's
Louisiana.
cool to.
No, there was no language that's even. No syntax that's even close. Dialect.
He once claimed he was Polish, so I think he's trying a Polish accent, but I don't know. It's like if a kid tries to do a Polish accent.
In The Disaster Artist, he claims that he's from New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
it's possible.
And I'm from Poland.
Yeah, exactly. So you're speaking of the fake backdrop. This is where we get to the scene on the roof. And it's like you can tell, me and Malia, we could tell that the roof is like the buildings behind were fake. You know what I mean? They weren't moving. Yeah. There's no birds.
Even Melissa said that's CGI.
Yeah. And this was the scene where Denny is getting threatened by a drug dealer with an obvious fake plastic gun. You can tell literally they probably just went out to like the local Walmart, bought the closest fake gun that looked like a Beretta and pulled off the orange plastic piece at the end, to prove that it's a toy. And that's how he's threatening Denny, I guess, with, money he owed from like drugs or something like that. And
they never said.
What kind of money, Denny? What kind of money?
Yeah. And Denny just wouldn't say, because he doesn't want to break Johnny's heart, because Johnny, takes care of him. Denny's screwed if Tommy is the positive male role model in this kid's life.
Where are his parents throughout?
No wonder he's on fucking drugs. You know what I mean?
What kind of drugs, Denny? What kind of drugs? Tell us now. Yeah. So I have on here. It's like,
yes.
So the character of Denny is suddenly on the rooftop, getting threatened by a guy wearing a gun who's known as Chris R.
Chris R? Oh, geez. I didn't even get his name. God.
He's known as Chris R. And he's like, "Where's my money?" And he's like, "Just give me 5 more minutes, or something." Like, I guess he's supposed to go downstairs and get the money. And then, and the drug dealer's like literally like holding a gun to, the movie gun to the actor's gun. Yeah, to the actor's head.
The firearm.
Yeah. And suddenly out of nowhere, Lisa and her mother of the year mom show up, and not only, and like, what I found fascinating was like the mom didn't even really know who Denny was, but yet she felt comfortable to grab him by the collar and yank him in and say, what was it? Like, "You're going to be in big trouble, son."
If only I knew who your parents were, you know what I mean? I'd tell them.
Yeah. And
I knew who your daddy was.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway.
What I have next is this is where Mark breaks up with Lisa, and they have this really lame, emotionless scene. And then I wrote, Johnny did not hit her, because this is where Mark's upstairs, or Mark's on the roof, I believe.
Now we should recapture, just for those who are just joining. Mark is another tenant that lives in the building that seems to
Johnny's
be having
best friend.
Right. He's Johnny's best friend, yet he's having a very reluctant affair with Lisa, because every time she approaches him and starts taking her clothes off, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on here? We can't do this. Okay. Hump.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she says one last time, remember?
Yeah.
One last time, right.
Yeah, please, one last time. You know, it's god awful. And then I don't remember how Johnny finds out that the abuse accusation happens, but we've seen this all in all the trailers and all the parodies. You know, it's this outside shot of their little door that you would come out of to the rooftop, and he's literally got his bottle of water, and he's angry, air quotes. He's emoting as much as Tommy Wiseau's frozen face allows him to do. he literally goes, I did not hit her. I did not. And he throws his water bottle and he looks, oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark.
You know, he literally, just like that. That's acting, right?
Acting 101. Right. And then, wait, we forgot. Did we skip over the part where Denny confesses to...
Yeah, that's right after Denny confesses that he loves Lisa and is obsessed with her and wants to run away with her, is what he's basically saying.
But in the same sentence, he tells the character of Johnny that he's in love with someone else and wants to marry her and have kids. Well, make up your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is, you just met her mother. You know what I mean? Do you really want to have that baggage come with Lisa?
Right. Looking at our text exchange during the film, I said, I'm like, all these people suck.
Yeah.
and you said, so does this movie. What a bitch. And then I wrote, how much longer is this movie?
I think we still had like another 40 fucking minutes to go too.
50 minutes. We still had 50 minutes. Right.
And you know, I will say this, you know, not acting wise, all these people are reprehensible. The only one that is somewhat, air quotes, decent is Johnny. You know what I mean? He you know, he probably couldn't add 2 and 2 together, but you know, he's not a bad person. He's not trying to hook up with someone else's woman. He isn't beating his girlfriend. He just wants to live a nice life with her. The problem is he's got all these cancerous people around him causing all these problems. No one else in this movie is a good person. So I don't know if that was Tommy Wiseau's intention to make Johnny this sympathetic. I mean, I did kind of feel sorry for him a little bit.
Right.
With all this happening.
I feel like that possibly it was an autobiography.
Yeah, go with that, because I think he said
that Tommy Wiseau, the writer of this film, the write about what you know type thing. And so he wrote about how like people are always using him and leaving him behind, and you kind of feel sorry for him.
Well, if it's right about what you know and it's autobiographical, Tommy Wiseau has to have something first for people to use him to get that stuff. You know what I mean? And Tommy doesn't look like he has $1 to his name, in my opinion. Every time I see him. But again, if it's just a character he's playing, like in the media.
Well, but he also going back a little bit. So the character of Johnny is supposed to be a banker. That's how he's what do you call it? A money rolling.
Yeah. That's the breadwinner, I guess you would say.
Right.
Yeah.
So he goes to work at the bank, but the only thing that you would even slightly show that he may work at a bank is that he wears a blazer. But other than that, there's nothing that signifies I am a professional. He doesn't carry a briefcase. That's like the whole movie. I'm like, where's his fucking briefcase if he's a banker? And there's like one scene where he's holding like manila envelopes, manila folders that could and he's supposed to walk down the street with all these files for their newest client that could just fall out the back without him looking because he's busy playing football.
Yeah, he's so awful. Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at all the quotes because IMDb might not have it, where he talks about how he got the job, but maybe I'm wrong, and it's not worth finding. The next thing I have, let's see here. And so Michelle, rando number 2, the female rando, I guess we will say, is told by Lisa that Johnny hits her. So Lisa is still keeping this abuse angle going.
Yet there's not a single bruise on her.
Exactly. Right. Nowhere. No black eye, no marks on her neck, no marks on her arm, no nothing. And I don't know if it was just bad acting or if the character knew that Lisa was full of shit, but you can tell that Michelle was not buying it.
Right. Because all these people, other than, like including the mom, including Michelle, everyone was just like worried more about Johnny than the fact that their friend just told them that he hits her, even though we the audience know that he never hit her, even though he does confront her and say, I never hit you, and then pushes her onto the couch very violently twice.
Yeah.
But but no one ever says, maybe you should leave him. They're like, no, you're going to break Johnny's heart, which really bothered me. That triggered me just a little bit.
Yeah, I just didn't get what made, honestly, I didn't get what made Johnny so likable other than him being an air quotes, successful banker. I didn't get why everyone was sticking up. And, and like I said, unless Lisa's pulled this type of bullshit before, I don't know why anyone at least wouldn't show a little bit of sympathy to a supposed abused woman. You know what I mean? They're all like, oh, no, that Tommy wouldn't, or Johnny wouldn't do that, that type of crap.
Anyway, how's your sex life, Eric?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll let people go down the rabbit hole for that one. No pun intended. Okay, so the next thing I have, so tell me if with your notes, Melissa, I have Lisa tells mom that she's found someone else, and this is where Tommy decides to bug the phone.
Okay. What's your opinion on this, Neal?
About bugging the phone?
Well, about, how it develops on camera, how it unfolds.
Well, I thought it was a pretty primitive way to bug the phone.
Yeah.
I felt like
he is a banker, so
I felt like
he just happens to know how to bug a phone, working at the bank.
Right. I felt like it was a flashback to the 1980s, because not only did he had all these devices, but he used the large size cassette tapes. Now we all know in the 1990s they had little cassette tapes.
Yep.
Yeah. What year was this thing filmed, by the way?
2003.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to get back to when you talk about the female actress. Lisa.
Well,
Neal really liked Lisa.
Well,
I could tell.
But the thing is that when the movie began, first of all, it must have taken 2 years to film this movie, because there's
I already know what he's going to say.
Well, there's an obvious, pardon my expression, weight gain. When she started out, she was, she looked like Trump's press secretary a little bit. And then later in the movie, it's like,
she looked like she got stung by a hornet or something all over her.
Someone blew up a balloon. She did have great nipples, though.
Oh my God!
when we were allowed to see them, because it was mostly Tommy's.
You were allowed to see them about 8 times.
Yeah.
Right. But I felt like, those, Neal and I have been on movie productions before, and I was like, well, clearly, there's a lot of sitting around that takes place on a film set. And I don't know how much of that
catering.
I don't know how much of that $6 million budget went to catering and craft services.
$6 million budget? You're kidding.
Yes.
That was the $6 million budget.
Where?
That's what $5 million for roses. And
I think it went into equipment, like the camera,
They
film.
shot in one room. I should get Woody on the phone.
They had to go to Walmart. They had to go to Walmart to buy the fake gun. They had I was gonna say they could have rented the dog, but they probably found the dog down the alleyway where they were playing football and just put him
or
on,
it was
on
the
the counter.
director's dog. You know,
It's
right, and
I
I'm
wouldn't
sure
want that guy in charge of animals, man. You know,
right. I think I'm sure they filmed in those locations, and the locations let him do it for free because it would have been. They didn't know what a crappy movie it was going to end up being, and they're like, "Oh, great! You're advertising our business. You're advertising
great.
our little coffee shop, for free." But this does make me wonder, though. I'm just, I'm not saying that this is what happened, but maybe there was some cleaning taking place with that money.
it's very possible. Just purely speculation.
Pure speculation. Please don't.
Yeah,
sue
the
me.
$6 million budget was all in cash.
Yeah, and I was telling Melissa before you showed up, Neal, that it air quotes cost $6 million and it only made 5.6 in the theaters. That I also don't believe.
$5.6.
No, it made $1,800 its opening weekend.
Oh my God!
Wow,
1,800 opening. Therefore, and that was the peak. So downhill from there.
Well, it is 1,800 its opening weekend, and then it took on a life of its own.
Wait, what channel did we see it on?
Public access.
I don't know. It was like a free internet website.
It was the streaming. It was the streaming.
What we watched it because Neal, you watched the same thing I watched. It was called Internet Archive, and it's a completely free site. You can watch a lot of movies on there. There's an actual Wikipedia page on it, and it talks about what Internet Archive is. It's basically media. There's also music on it and stuff like that. It's media that people who
it
run
sounds like
the website.
LimeWire. Sounds like LimeWire.
Well, I was going to say it's media that people believe should be preserved for one reason or another.
Okay.
I think someone was drunk and hit the wrong switch when they uploaded the room, and that's how we got it.
It sounds like the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
I wonder if the wildlife is on that. Oh.
I have no. What are you talking about? What's the wildlife?
A certain director we know, his second movie.
Neal, I checked. It is.
It's on there.
It is. That was brought up in conversation.
It never got released on DVD.
Yeah, but I checked. It's on there.
Okay. All right. Everyone in the world, that's enough about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Erase that from your minds.
What I got next, Melissa, is this is where Peter the psychologist shows up.
Right. Okay. Again, continuity with the film driving me nuts. Okay. So the character of Tommy is sitting on this spiral staircase, listening to Lisa and Mother of the Year talk about whatever they're talking about, and so then Tommy, the character of Johnny, decides he's going to record them, and he sets all that thing up with the giant cassette tape.
But first,
and then
when he does that, you got to remember he thinks this is Shakespeare, so he's got to give that soliloquy. He's got to tell the audience what his plans are, speaking out loud, even though no one's in the fucking room with him.
Well, it's like watching a soap opera. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
They say in movie making, you have to pretend your audience is stupid.
Well, you also got to pretend the filmmakers are stupid too.
Yeah.
So anyway, he sets up the machine to record and all that other stuff, and then he walks back up the spiral staircase. And I have to point out, very strangely, holding on to the centerpiece of the staircase as opposed to the railing of the staircase. Right. But I digress. He goes up the spiral staircase, and suddenly there's a man sitting there next to a fireplace. I was so confused because I was like, wait a second, is this dude Peter waiting upstairs for Tommy? Like, it didn't make sense to me, but that was just a bad transition from one scene to the other. So suddenly there's Peter, who I guess is another tenant of this building. And he's a psychologist who can't make up his mind. Does he want to give advice or not?
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely the type of psychologist you get what you pay for. And, with this movie, that means free.
Nothing, right?
Yeah. And I think this is where I finally found it. This is Peter is asking Johnny how he met Lisa. And again, this is
It's an
great
interesting
writing.
story. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, I got it up here, and this is the Shakespeare that Tommy Wiseau is known to write. So again, speaking of which, how did you meet Lisa? You never told us. Oh, that's a very interesting story. When I moved to San Francisco with 2 suitcases that Melissa never saw, and I didn't know anyone, and I have, and that's literally what he says, and I didn't know anyone, and I hit YMCA with a $2,000 check that I couldn't cash. Why not?
Because it was
why
out
not?
of state.
Yeah, well, because it was an out-of-state bank. Anyway, I was working at a busboy in a hotel, and she was sitting drinking her coffee, and she was so beautiful. And I say hi to her, and that's how we met. And then Mark's there, I guess, and he literally says, and me and Melissa said the same thing in our text. So, I mean, what's the interesting part? And here's how Johnny answers. Well, the interesting part is that on our first date, she paid for dinner. That's romance.
Right. So I guess that explains why he feels like he needs to take care of her now. I mean,
wait, I just figured it out.
Yes.
He still had the $2,000 uncashable check. So he gave it to the guy who confronted him with the gun, who lent him $1,000 towards the $2,000 check, thinking that he made $1,000 profit, and they never paid the $1,000. Boom.
Interesting story, Neal.
You know what? I'm glad you showed up because I couldn't fucking figure it out.
That is a very interesting story.
That's how he owed him. Well, possibly. Anyway.
Okay. So now, wait, so did we skip? So they're getting ready. So even though Lisa keeps
told the story about how he met her.
Right. Mm-hmm. Lisa keeps telling everyone how much she hates Johnny. She's in love with Mark, yet she's going to throw him a surprise party for his birthday.
Right.
Oh, right.
And then Mark and Peter get in a fight on the roof. Do you remember why they were fighting on the roof, Melissa? I have no idea.
So
this is where Mark almost threw Peter off the roof, I think, in their argument. I was too busy focusing on the bad green screen around them.
But then they shook hands right after, right? Didn't they? Was that another movie? Yeah.
No, and so wait a second. I think that they were I just read something that I wrote. I said, if it does still, the sheets still stink from the last time she was with Johnny and her belly button.
Ouch.
Yes.
Yeah. I said, I bet those sheets still stink from the last time she was with Johnny and her belly button.
Well, Mark and Lisa sleep together again. Yeah, I know that. Right.
So I think they were fighting because Peter was like, "You're in love with Lisa, aren't you? Just say it. Just say it already."
He figures it out. Yep.
And and it was like, "No, take that back. That's not true. I'm gonna throw you off the roof." And then he falls back. "Oh, are you okay? Everything okay?" and then they go back to fighting again. It didn't make sense.
Well, see, it makes me think that maybe Peter, the actor, didn't mean to trip and almost fall off the roof, and Tommy Wiseau just didn't edit that out.
Oh, they left it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's the only thing I can fucking think of. And then there's some more football. Okay, so, and then they have
surprise party.
Yeah, we're going to the surprise party because Lisa and Mark almost get caught by Michelle. They're gonna do it one last time, just once more, and then that's when Michelle walks in on them, I believe.
I basically feel like they did get caught because he's literally putting his shirt on and his
zipper XYZ.
Yeah, because again, it's got to be in the 90s or something like that because that's when that was popular. That's what I said in 8th grade to my guy friends. When their zippers were down.
Right, exactly. Jesus. Well, that's Tommy the person. Probably, when he was learning English, that's all of his references are from
Well, that's true because I've heard a lot of times it's with music, certain countries are decades behind, America. You know, like Japan, and like, you know, when we were in the early 2000s, they were still in like the 80s with like the music that they were listening to. So maybe that's how Tommy is. You know, he's just Tommy Wiseau's 20 years behind everybody else in the fucking world.
Right. You're right. So let's see. All right. So now we're at the birthday party. Michelle is over because she needs to help Lisa prepare. And Lisa, I mean, what? She has to clean the corner of the room because she never leaves that corner.
Well,
And
she got to change the sheets on the couch too, because, you know, other guests will be sitting on it.
Because it's the sex couch where randos come in and have sex.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I need you to help me push the coffee table." So they push and she's kind of sweeping a little bit. And then Michelle says, "I brought the stuff you asked for." And Neal was like, "What kind of stuff? Like, you were asking questions. What's in the bag? What is she bringing?" Okay,
what was she bringing?
Well, she was apparently bringing Lay's potato chips and pretzels. That's right. for this high class party for this extremely successful banker.
That's why it was Lay's potato chips and not the generic, you know, store brand.
Right.
Not Pringles.
See, that's what I wrote. I said they should have been Pringles. And
that's right.
Well, what I remember is he walks into the party and then all of a sudden they go, "Surprise." But the look on everyone's face was like blank. Like it was the least surprise, the least happy surprise party I've ever seen, especially the blonde.
Yeah. I just think I think Tommy Wiseau just forgot to yell action. You know what I mean? So they didn't know how to react.
Right. So they're at this party that Lisa, you know, people keep saying, "Lisa, you need to tell Johnny what's going on. Be honest with him." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to ruin his birthday." Yet, in the middle of the party, she says, "Hey, everyone, let's go out and get some fresh air." Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone goes out to get some fresh air. She slams the door shut. "Oh no, not you, Mark. Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, proceeds to go over to the couch together. And it's like, just one more time while Johnny is literally outside. It's his birthday party. The door isn't locked.
Michelle just changed the sheets. It's okay. Yeah.
Right. And then, you know, some rando dude number 2 walks in like, "Who's this guy?" There's no explanation. The guy in the blue shirt, who's he? Oh, I guess he's Michelle's boyfriend.
Yeah.
No, wait. Can't be Michelle's boyfriend because Michelle was making out with the spiky hair dude with the comedy. I can't keep them straight. Some other person walks in. "What's going on in here? What are you guys doing?" "Oh, please don't tell Johnny." Okay. And then so they get in this big fight. And then suddenly the two, you know, Mark and Lisa are just basically blatantly making out in front of everybody. And, you know, so Johnny comes in and she's like,
"Happy birthday."
You're happy birthday. "You're always ruining the fun. You know, we're just having fun." And I mean,
it turns into her mom, basically, you know, that unlikable type person.
Right. Everyone's telling Lisa she needs to be honest with Johnny. You know, they don't want to be a part of it, yet they all stick around. And like, and then, you know, we're not going to go to the end because we don't want to spoiler alert anybody.
Yeah.
But the end.
Well, is this, you know, because I wrote down, I don't even remember when this happened. So I put Johnny's birthday party, and then maybe it was before Johnny saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum making out, because it says Lisa lies about being pregnant.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Do
you remember who she told? And then I think like right away she said, "Oh no, I'm not," or some bullshit like that.
She said, "Yeah," because Johnny announces to everybody, "Hey, I have an announcement." "Oh, what's the announcement?" We're expecting. And then I was like, "Wait a second." I thought, you know, and then so people were like, "Oh, Lisa, when you can't leave Johnny. What about the baby?" And she's like, "There is no baby." "What do you mean there's no baby?" "Oh, I just said that to make things interesting." What things interesting? Is it like already not enough of a drama that you've created? You needed to throw in like this baby? Like what? Like absolutely doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And then, again, not gonna, but yeah. So the end ends.
Basically, we'll say this: Tommy locks himself in the bathroom, and he has a breakdown, and this is where he throws around that big giant 50-pound tube TV like it weighs like 5 pounds.
Which when it broke, it looked like one of those cardboard boxes for moving you get from U-Haul.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I had a TV that size, and it took at least 3 people to move it.
Me too. Yeah. It was an old Trinitron, and it was the first 32-inch TV I ever had. The back of it was like a fucking Cadillac, and me and 2 of my friends barely were. I had Bramson and Cameron come over. We could barely lift it up. And this guy's tossing it around like it's a fucking nickel.
Yeah, it's like he's the fucking Incredible Hulk or something.
Right, I was going to say, all of a sudden,
and you could see when it broke, there was nothing. It was totally empty.
It was completely hollow.
And he
prop TV.
He kind of looked like Frankenstein going around.
I know, it was like,
we're not just talking about his face either. So
I'm gonna knock over all these things to show how angry I am.
But he didn't do it with any authority. It was like
or emo. Exactly. It was just like Anyway, yeah. So Lisa, the character, the skank that she is, calls Mark upstairs, and and then the character Johnny presents the big cassette tape.
Yep. and this is the part where it becomes a soap opera. This is the twist. He knew all along, and it's just. And then we'll brush over the ending. We'll just say it doesn't end well for Johnny.
It was a Shakespearean ending.
Yeah, well, he wanted it to be a Shakespearean ending.
It ended in tragedy.
It did, and then
you're not leaving much to the imagination, you guys.
I know. We'll skip over that, and then we have the person I think who's the saddest of the 3 people, because again, Denny shows up. He was hanging out in the corner, watching everything. I think he was the one that was more sad than the supposed best friend and the girlfriend. All
right, and then suddenly, what did she say?
I think she still tries to hook up with Mark, doesn't she?
Right. She says he's in a better place now. Dude, it's not like he had cancer or something.
They're still in the same room with him. And she says it.
Well, he's in a better place now, and at least I still have you, right, honey bunny? No, you're an evil.
He's just now figuring this out. Jesus.
Right. What a horrible, awful person she was. She was awful. But,
can I just say, when he played the tape back for everyone, which I expected it to sound kind of tinny, tape-ish with tiny speakers, it sounded like they had gone into ADR and just pumped up the stereo. It sounded like a symphony orchestra.
It did.
Not to mention, there was extra dialogue in that tape that did not take place on the phone call that we saw.
Exactly.
In my other life, I wanted to be a script continuity.
Oh, you'd be great. She'd be the best, man.
In this movie, there were so many continuity problems. It drove me crazy.
It's true. It's true. It's so bad. And again, we can blame the writer, the director, the producer, the lead actor, because it's all the same person.
It's all him.
Right. The clothing didn't match up. The facial expressions didn't match up. There was the the conversation that Johnny's having with Peter, where they do a close-up shot of Johnny looking at Peter, and he's twisted around looking at him, and then they come back out to the wide shot, and he's facing a completely different direction drinking.
I would love to do I'm not watching this fucking movie again. We're gonna get to our scores and everything. I'm not watching, but I would love to be in the room with you guys and just do a commentary on this film. I don't think, honestly, because if Melissa's doing her continuity thing, I don't think, you know her better than me, but I don't think she would have survived 20 minutes the way she
no, she'd survive. She'd have the whole film crew in a tizzy, though. No, I mean, look, I know her a very long time. I know
Mhm.
her strengths and her weaknesses. We all have them. But when it comes to that stuff, she's the top.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
If she knows that someone's looking like this and the reverse shot has to be down like that and it's that way, cut, she'll stop everything. I know.
Right. Anyway,
So
so
that's the room, everybody.
that's the room. That's our discussion about the room. So Eric, go ahead.
Well, now Neal, you're new to the podcast. How we end this? We give a score, and me and Melissa, we were thinking, well, how can we score this? Because we knew it wasn't going to be high. And I said, we can do halves. Well, Melissa said we can also do negatives. So, and then we also have to say our favorite scene.
The objective scale is, if it's cucumbers or stars or.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be out of 5.
I'm going to give it footballs.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can't do the football.
Oh, yes, I can. I give it. How far down can I go?
You can use your imagination, my friend.
5 fully deflated, Tom Brady-esque deflated footballs.
Deflated.
Now, out of 5, the higher the number, the better the score. So keep that in mind.
But the footballs are deflated.
-5.
So the footballs are deflated. So.
-5 deflated, Tom Brady-esque footballs.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel a little bit for the actors, like they didn't know what they were getting into. I feel like for the most part, I feel like the crew tried. They did what their directions were given.
Yeah.
They
tried.
They tried,
kind of.
And so I don't know. Like, I feel like I wasn't going to go a whole -5. I was just going to, just go a little bit negative. I was going to go like, -2 red dresses. -2 red dresses.
I'll be out. You know what? I'll go. I'll be nice. I'll play a devil. I'll go between your guys' score. I'm going to give it, because it is bad. It looks awful. It sounds awful. The acting is awful. Tommy Wiseau sucks all the life out of every scene he's in. The characters are reprehensible. He tries to make it Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed lovers somehow. I'm guessing because that's how it ends. I'm gonna give it -3 penetrated belly buttons.
Okay.
Now, I know it's gonna be tough for you two.
Uh-huh.
Melissa and I have done this for the previous 2 episodes. Neal, can you force yourself to pick a favorite scene from the room?
Favorite
for whatever reason.
Okay, well, I will start, however, by saying, not quite off topic, but assuming this was shot on film and not digitally, I'm going to take a wild guess saying it was shot on film. Film contains silver. It's part of it makes film, gelatin and silver. They could have melted the entire movie down, gotten 1/4 of an ounce of silver, and that would have been more valuable than the entire movie. As far as my favorite scene or least favorite, I will always love them going to a surprise party and the look on her face is surprise. It's like surprise.
Melissa, you got one?
It is. The acting is absolutely dreadful, but probably not as dreadful as the direction.
My favorite scene will be the flower shop scene because there's a doggie there. Hi, doggie.
And you know what? This was a chore. I don't regret watching it because I had a fun texting conversation with Melissa while we're watching it, and I've had a lot of fun tonight with you two discussing it. But I'm not gonna lie, it was atrocious. My favorite scene was the ending credits because we're done with the film. It is not the worst
make it
movie.
Through the ending credits.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of trash, and I have seen a lot worse, but not much. I'm just glad it ended.
That is a very good choice.
I must say, go ahead.
I'm scrolling through our texts. How many times did we ask each other, how much longer, or is it over yet?
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't doing shots because I would have been gone really quick.
I must say, the one movie that's coming out this year that I am, truth to be told, absolutely, Emma, that I'm totally looking forward to beyond anything else is Spinal Tap 2.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really am too. I think they got with the same actors involved. They can try their best to recapture that magic. I think.
Spinal Tap 1 is between that and another movie called Almost Famous. That's basically a story of my life. But Spinal Tap 2, I will go from here to the moon to see it if it was only playing up there. Really,
it's actually playing at the little tiny theater in my town. So maybe.
Oh fucking hell! You're kidding.
No, maybe tomorrow we can go see it.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
I mean, there.
Here.
Where am I?
Here.
I forgot what coast I'm at.
Here in Vermont. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm in Vermont, so this is good.
Right. Okay. And so, Eric, what's our next film that we're going to be discussing?
Well, now that we actually have a schedule, we're going to at least, I believe, Melissa, we're going to try to do weekly. See how that works out, right?
I thought we said we're gonna let's go bi-weekly.
Every other week.
Okay.
But the ultimate goal would be weekly.
Okay. Yeah. So we're starting off bi-weekly.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
In 2 weeks, it is Melissa's choice. And we were going to do another bad movie. And when we were watching The Room, Melissa, I said, fuck that. I'm calling an audible. I said, we're not doing another bad movie because I can't do it. I gave Melissa, because it's her pick. And Melissa chose Brian De Palma's Carrie.
Because I've never seen it.
You've never seen Carrie?
I've never seen Carrie.
Oh my God.
Let me just say.
You're bloody kidding.
No. let me just say, all of the films that Eric and I will be discussing on our podcast are films I have never seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's part of it because it started off as I'm like a horror movie novice, but I've also not, I haven't really, there was times in my life where I wasn't really watching movies. I was doing other things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's right. You know what, I'll say this, it came out in 1976, I believe. I personally love it. I won't give any spoilers. You know enough of the story. I know you do, Melissa. But
right. Even though John Travolta plays a bad person.
Yes.
Right.
I forgot he was in it.
Yeah. Right. Well, you can't miss him with the hair.
Well, he was classic Vinnie Barbarino.
It was around that time. I think he had to take time off of Welcome Back, Kotter to do Carrie because I know he was barely in the final season. So as of this recording, this is September 10th. So God willing, September 24th.
Okay.
It'll be Melissa's choice. We will be discussing Brian De Palma's Carrie. First time watch. I'm very, very excited to hear your thoughts. I'm a big Stephen King fan. And I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on this highly, highly and well-respected entry, not just in horror, but in cinema to begin with. So great choice, in my opinion. Hopefully you like it. You never know until you watch it, though.
Right. I look forward to seeing, once again, a young Sissy Spacek. She'll always be coal miner's daughter. Right. She'll always be coal miner's daughter to me. But
I have a suggestion for you guys. If down the road near Christmas or next year, there's one of my all-time favorite movies that's not very good. Is The Terror of the Tongs.
The Terror of the Tongs?
Terror of the Tongs.
Like tongs, like salad tongs?
No, like Chinese, like like a Chinese gang, like a Chinese
a-
Oh,
mafia.
okay.
Oh,
Terror
okay.
of the Tongs.
All right. I
Okay.
will look into that. And
Not to be
either
missed.
way, I'll say this. Either way, if it's not streaming, I already told Melissa she's not paying for anything that we watch on the show. Thank God.
Yeah.
I can find a way to
Oh yeah,
get
it's
the
out there
movies to people.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere.
Although I did pay to watch The Disaster Artist.
How did you finish that? How was that? How did that turn out? Because I didn't get a chance.
I did, and I did finish it, and it's very touching the way that it ends.
Okay.
Let's say it ends better than The Room did.
Okay, thank God. It begins better than The Room began. It's written better than The Room is written. We get it. So this has been great. I had a lot of fun. Neal, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. No, it's fantastic. Thank you. Fantastic.
Melissa, is there anything you want to promote? Any animal charities, or is it the usual? Is it Pause for Prayers that you usually promote?
It's that. First, eat more apples. Support your local farmers. And Pause and Prayers is the name. My friend Danielle, who is a volunteer in California, who goes to the animal shelters, like Lancaster Animal Shelter, which is where Teddy came from, and I believe Jeannie came from. Neal's
my daughter.
Yeah, Neal's dog Jeannie came from. So yeah, adopt, don't shop, and
right.
Bingo.
Yeah, you can always find amazing dogs at the dog shelter. Just because they come from a shelter, don't be afraid, because yeah, that's it. Give them a chance. That's all I have to say.
I love you more. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So,
thanks, Eric.
Yeah, with that, I'm Eric. That's Melissa.
Yay.
That's
Bye,
Mr.
Eric.
Neal Preston. See you guys in the
And
next one.
we're out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.